Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. We've got a terrific show planned for you. Some mind-blowing stuff from Yamaha is here with us in the first hour. Going to talk about their trans-acoustic piano. This is a digital piano that has no speakers. I mean, all digital equipment, has speakers. No more. The sound actually emanates from the piano. It's just amazing technology. Yamaha is here with us to discuss that and several other technologies that they have just introduced.
1 minute until showtime.
And in hour two, Computer and Technology News brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we get started here on Computer America. Ten seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
Hey, Ben. Guess what? It's Friday!
Yay!
All right.
Although, I
Yeah.
must say, every day should be your Friday. Doesn't
Yep.
matter. Enjoy every day of your life. Don't just say 5/7 of my week really stunk. I'm so glad the end of the week is here. No,
Yeah.
enjoy every day like it's Friday.
That sounds very much. And, we had a great show planned for you. In hour two, we're going to have Computer and Technology News brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. Yes, they are. But in the first hour, we're going to have Yamaha here. Not the motorcycle division, no, the music division. They've got some amazing things to talk to us about tonight, especially in the arena of digital instruments. I just saw something that just blew my hair back. I mean, this is just amazing. The trans-acoustic piano. This is, this opens up a whole new realm to, digital pianos. Let's face it. I mean, digital pianos are great. They do wonderful things, but, they have all those speakers, attached to them. The digital sounds come to the speakers. The trans-acoustic piano has no speakers. Let that sink in. No speakers. The sound literally comes from the piano soundboard, just like actual instrument. The digital sounds, the acoustic sounds, it's just phenomenal. And we have Yamaha to explain how that works. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I've listened to samples of it. It's just an amazing product. They're here. Yamaha is here tonight in the first hour of the Computer America Show. Ben, it's Friday. I noticed that we've got a number of things to talk about. Let me get the phone numbers out of the way. If people want to call or have questions for our guests, give us a call at 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881 will get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. You'll see there's a button that says chat room/video. Just click that. You'll get a split screen. On the left-hand side there is the entry form for our chat room. Just put in a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you right into the IRC chat room. It's just that simple. And sharing that same page is our live Computer America video streaming page. Not only can you listen to the Computer America show, you can also watch the show. That's right. You can see myself. You can see Ben. Sometimes you can see our guests or live demonstrations. It's just one more element that we've added to the Computer America program. And Ben, I'm looking at your screen, and it says Computer America. What does that mean?
I am still surprised you haven't heard of it. It's Computer America. America. It's a very American way to say America.
Oh, I see. Computer America.
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 You got to pretend that you have that southern drawl. It's America.
America. Okay, Computer America.
There you go.
America.
Computer America.
Oh, well,
there you go.
There it is, Computer America. Or if you're somewhat confused, you can look at mine, and mine just says Computer America. But anyway, we have the live video streaming, and you can kind of join in and see all that. Of course, it being Friday, are any good movies that are coming out, Ben? I think, was it The Kingsman? There's a couple of them that are coming out. Well, most of them are still set up for March. I think March is really the big month for movies. So.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited to get our guest here on the show. We've got lots to talk about. So, again, 347-884-8881 is the number to get you on. Now, with the knowledge and expertise of over 100 years of manufacturing musical instruments, Yamaha combines the best in technology and craftsmanship in the development of portable keyboard products. Beginners and pros alike turn to Yamaha portable keyboards for learning, creating, perfecting, and performing. Now, here with us once again is Craig Knutson. Craig will discuss how Yamaha is using its expertise from more than 100 years of manufacturing musical instruments and the latest computer-based technologies to evolve the piano to new heights of interactivity for musicians. Among the many new features, Yamaha's hybrid pianos, clavinovas, disc claviers, and trans-acoustic pianos offer are the authentic touch, feel, and sound of acoustic pianos, pristinely sampled digital sounds, control apps, and the ability to practice silently through headphones. In addition, Yamaha's trans-acoustic piano is the first instrument of its kind to reproduce all acoustic and digital sounds from its soundboard rather than from a speaker. This is just absolutely incredible. These are not your grandparents' pianos. Craig is Yamaha's designer and marketing consultant. Craig, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Great to be here, Craig. And Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, how's it going this lovely Friday night? Are you on East or West Coast? Like, I need to know if you're capping your night off with us, or are we just ruining your night?
Oh, I'm in Texas tonight, heading to Seattle tomorrow, but really looking forward to spending some time with you guys tonight.
And I'm still blown away with this. We're going to get into the details of these instruments, but just for those few who might still not know, Craig, why don't you explain a little bit about Yamaha and that they do make more than just motorcycles, great motorcycles. Their instrument division. Just give us a little background real quick.
Well, you're absolutely right. Yamaha was founded in 1887, and the first products we made was reed pipe organs, believe it or not, and that's why our corporate symbol is 3 tuning forks. And then around the 1900s, we started making acoustic pianos, and motorcycles didn't come along until the 50s. And but the motorcycles, indicating the music heritage. Look at those motorcycles on the gas tank. There's 3 tuning forks indicating the music heritage.
And I still hear the theme to this day, from the Yamaha motor. Yamaha, won't you take me away? Yamaha, today is the day. It was a great song. Anyway, so then you got into making pipe. First they started with pipe organs, and when did they start making all these keyboards, the digital? When did they start going digital?
Well, of course, after in the 80s when MIDI was invented, MIDI is sort of a music language for computers, and that's when things really sort of exploded, of course. So digital pianos were invented in 1983, and we call those things clavinovas. But it's really interesting because now we've morphed into what we call reproducing pianos, our disc clavier. We've gone into hybrid pianos, and then what you were talking about earlier, the transacoustic piano. So it's sort of ironic. You can't just say piano anymore. You got to put a little word in front of it. Acoustic piano, digital piano,
yes,
etc.
You have to clarify this. There's no question about that. So, and I'm really excited about this transacoustic piano, and I kind of want to lead off with this, and then we'll get to some of the other ones. Certainly, very impressive. But again, when I first heard about this, I went, no way. This can't be that they're doing this. I played acoustic piano, I played digital pianos, I played the clavinovas and disc claviers, and as you know, all those pianos have a speaker involved. The digital sounds that they reproduce have to come out through the speakers, and that's always been the way. So now Yamaha's come out with a hybrid, the first of its kind, to reproduce all acoustic and digital sounds from its soundboard. Now, if you're familiar with if our listeners are familiar with pianos, all pianos have something. Acoustic pianos, regular pianos have a soundboard. This large, it's a major component of the piano itself. It's like this large wood, component. That makes up the part of the piano, and depending upon how the construction of the soundboard, I guess it's like anything else, what makes a Stradivarius from a regular violin, the wood that they use, all these things contribute to the richness and fullness of the sound of the piano. Just like when you have acoustic guitars, the wood that they use, the varnish they put on it, all these different things kind of contribute to the acoustic richness of the instrument. Well, Yamaha has evidently taken the acoustic piano and decided to add the digital component, but they're playing the digital sounds that are created through the soundboard itself. There are no speakers with this piano. So why don't you tell us about this? This is an amazing accomplishment.
Well, Craig, there's a lot going on here, and you bring up a really interesting point, because by combining it in this way, we're finding that it gives purists permission to really like this technology, because you're sort of combining the best of both worlds. You're taking the best of an acoustic piano and combining it with the best of a digital piano. If you think about a car, seems like two disparate technologies. You've got gas and you've got electric.
Yep.
Well, when you combine them, you sort of get a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. So in the case of the transacoustic, you've got a digital piano, an instrument that doesn't need to be tuned, can be used with headphones, connected with a computer, and then combining it with something like the real soundboard in there. And what makes it amazing is the fact that the digital electronics interact with the acoustical properties of the piano. One of the most shocking things to do is, well, let's just back up. First of all, it's a real acoustic piano. So when you sit in front of a transacoustic, you're sitting in front of an acoustic piano. Okay. If you push down the center pedal and slide it to the left, the hammers are prevented from striking the strings. Okay, so now you're not hearing those strings being struck, and that's when the digital piano comes into effect, which means you can play the piano at any volume. You can play with different sounds. But what you pointed out is by imparting the energy into the soundboard itself, we're using the soundboard to amplify those sounds. Here's a fun little trick that we've done before. If you take a music box, a regular music box that you might have in your child's room, and take it out of its case and play it and hold it in your hand, you can't hear it. But if you set that music box down on a really nice table or a piece of wood, suddenly it comes to life.
Yes.
You put it on a soundboard, it's very loud because of the acoustic properties of that piano. So that's what we're doing. Just imagine imparting those digital sounds into that beautiful speaker called a soundboard.
Yeah, and who came up with this idea? I mean, was this the engineers at Yamaha? I mean, they were sitting around one day and said, oh, and like a bulb went off. I mean, how did this kind of come about?
Well, if you really think about it, a speaker is a transducer. A speaker, with its membrane, turns electronic signals into sound waves. And really, that's what a soundboard and a piano is already doing. It's taking those vibrating strings, and then through contact with that soundboard, the soundboard makes those sound waves. So technically, a soundboard is, a speaker. It's just not what we usually call. It's not electronic, but a speaker is a transducer, and that's where the name comes from. Transacoustic, transducer, and acoustic combined.
So, and is any one particular scientist in Yamaha accredited to the idea, or is this is a group effort? I mean.
Oh, it's a group effort. Yamaha, the development in this company is just wonderful. I've enjoyed 25 years of working with both engineers and the people in the United States, and it is most definitely a group effort.
Yeah.
And some of the technologies they create are just amazing.
Yeah, it is. Now, so let me see if I understand this correctly. Now, so you say the transacoustic first is a fully operational acoustic piano. That means I could sit down. It has little hammers. It's got the strings, everything that you would find in a normal piano, and I could sit down and play it without turning on the digital component. I mean, just leaving it totally off. It would still play like a regular piano. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So again,
was there any
pedal?
I'm sorry. What, Ben? You were going to say something? Ben?
Yeah. The one question I had was was there any one piece of technology that you had to wait to be invented before you did this, or was it just combining existing technologies and just saying, okay, we haven't tried this, but we can do it?
Well, great question, Ben, and you're exactly right. One of the problems in creating transacoustic technology was the transducer. If you're trying to take electronic signals and inject them into that soundboard, you quite often can interfere with that soundboard. And if you interfere with the soundboard, you're going to interfere with the acoustic piano properties.
Yeah.
So what our engineers were able to do was to be able to get those sounds into the soundboard without binding it, because that soundboard has to vibrate too.
Right.
The other thing that makes it so amazing is a piano is, made of felt, made of wood. It expands and contracts in different temperatures. Do you know that the engineers figured out a way to make sure that the tension between that transducer and the soundboard is maintained at exactly the right tension, even if the temperature might be changing in the environment? And that part was just revolutionary, to make sure that it's always the exact tension to get that right amount of amplification.
Well, you see, I remember, in most grand pianos, especially if we had them in South Florida or something, and the high humidity, we would put those little heater bars. They were like, you would plug in, and the heater bar the dehumidifier bar, so it would basically prevent the wood from changing due to the different humidity characteristics of whatever room it's in. So what they've done, you're saying they don't need a heater bar like that. They've actually designed the interface, the setup, so it doesn't need anything like that. It just
Well, Yamaha pianos are what we call seasoned for destination. So when they are manufactured at different places throughout the world, they're seasoned for the United States for a certain humidity content and things like that. So the acoustic piano, there's an art to making sure that piano stays in tune regardless of the environment that it's put into.
Sure.
What we're saying here in this case, though, is there's special technology to make sure that transducer is always at exactly the right temperature, regardless of the environment.
Wow. So
yeah, and what my favorite thing to do on this was there was a gentleman who works at Yamaha named Bill Brandom, and he showed me something one day that just was amazing. And this is how the electronic sounds actually set the strings into motion. So imagine this: you put down the center pedal, so the hammers are no longer hitting the strings, and then you turn up, say, a wonderful electric piano sound.
Okay.
If you hold down the damper pedal, which is the sustain, to let it ring, and then you play that chord, if you cancel the volume of the electronic sounds, guess what you hear? The strings are vibrating in resonance with what the electronic sounds created. So this is the thing that gives purists permission to say, oh my gosh, those electronic sounds are interacting with the actual acoustic piano. So there's a symbiotic relationship here that's never really occurred before in an instrument such as this.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing. I saw a demonstration of that up on the website. And by the way, we have a link to the video that we want you to also see. If you go to computeramerica.com and you click on our show notes page, we actually have a link to the Yamaha website that talks about the digital pianos that we're talking about tonight. And there's a video there. Watch the transacoustic demonstration. It is mind-blowing because he plays the strings along with the piano, and you actually hear it's the strings in the piano that are vibrating. I don't know if it's symbiotically or harmonically, but when he plays the piano along with the strings, everything shifts. It's just a very smooth melding of the two, the strings. It sounds like you're listening to a room full of string instruments while he's playing the piano. It's very difficult to describe, especially if you have a good or trained ear. But for those of you who do hear that, you're going to be really impressed. This is just amazing.
Funny story here, Craig. When I was just 5 years old, my mom and dad had an organ in the living room, and I discovered at 5 years old, if I held down the low C and C sharp on the organ, I could make the pans in my mom's kitchen shake. It's also when I learned my middle name was Arthur, by the way. But anyway, so that means you can use sound waves to move things in another room. Doesn't it make sense in an acoustic piano that vibrating strings that create sound waves are going to make other strings within that piano vibrate? That's called string resonance. And so the fact that the string resonance interacts with the electronic sounds is the part that's just, again, so sweet about this instrument.
There's there's overtones or harmonic overtones, I think that's what it is the technical term, where the strings of the digital string instruments are causing the strings in the piano to resonate accordingly. And there's all, you can look at the math. Mathematically, you can kind of figure it out. But this is what happens.
Well, another funny story or a way to look at it is inexpensive digital samplings of pianos often don't include these string resonance samples.
Yeah.
And when you play a piano like that, that's like eating food without aromas. It's the aromas of the food that sort of interact with one another, and that's what I like to refer to string resonance samples in a digital piano, to make it sound like those digital sounds are interacting like real strings. So, which reminds me, I haven't had dinner tonight, so I'm hungry.
Well, you only have another 30 or so minutes, and then you can go. Yeah, but we're talking about this. This is just mind-blowing stuff, and I want our listeners to understand, especially those who are interested in music like I am. I was a professional entertainer for many, many years. I was a singer, and I play piano. I have a classical background in piano, and and I have a.
They paid for Craig to stop singing at many, many places, very nice places.
and I gave concerts. It's with playing piano. It's just. And so someone like me or our listeners who have some sort of a musical or background, or where their ear is kind of trained or attuned to it, or even if you're not, you'll find that people who don't, they'll know something is wrong. They won't know what it is, but something doesn't sound right when they hear the average digital piano, or they'll say, it doesn't sound natural. That goes away with something with this transacoustic. It is just a phenomenon that you really have to go hear and see for yourself. You can watch the video. That will certainly give you some inclination of what you're the treat that you're in for when you go see are the transacoustic pianos at different dealers? How does one go finding out whether they can hear a transacoustic?
If you go to a Yamaha authorized dealer throughout the United States and in the cities, you can ask to see either an upright version of a transacoustic and some grand versions of them. And they're just starting to show up in dealer stores as I'm traveling around. You know, it's really fun to see the dealers and the salespeople's reaction to this, because you know, this is really sort of the future, and when they see this type of technology, it gets them as excited, and they usually you can see the excitement in their eyes.
That's an excellent point. I mean, obviously, if you're in the business of selling pianos, most anyone in that business obviously are musicians themselves. What kind of reaction?
Yes.
What kind of reaction are you getting from the dealers that are hearing these things for the first time?
Well, again, it's sort of excitement. I mean, there was, ironically, about a month ago, there was an article that went out about talking about how the sale of acoustic pianos, you know, have been declining. But to simply focus on acoustic pianos only is like focusing on landlines being sold in homes.
Yeah.
Yes, landlines being sold in homes. I don't even have a landline in my home, but cell phones and smartphones are going crazy. Well, very similar to here. If we focus just on acoustic, yes, you can see a decline in the sales of those instruments, but digital pianos, hybrid pianos, reproducing pianos are selling extremely well.
And not only that, if you look at a transacoustic piano, I mean, as you say, it's an acoustic piano. They're beautiful to look at. The grand piano, it's like having a lovely acoustic piano in your home, in your living room.
And yet, if you then mute those electronic sounds, and we kept talking about how the speaker then emanates those electronic sounds, you can play this acoustic piano technically with headphones. You just go ahead and the hammer's no longer hitting the strings, and then you put in a pair of headphones, and then you can play the piano at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right. I remember my mother always said, you know, that there was going to be a piano, a grand piano in the home. There always had to be a grand piano in the home, and of course, this didn't exist in those times. But I mean, I'm just amazed. My gosh, I don't mean to, but I mean, I heard this thing, and if you ever have a chance to go listen to a transacoustic, you need to do it, because it's going to be ear-opening for the first time. It's just an amazing product. I can't say that enough. Typically, now is it just one size, a transacoustic piano? I mean, what sizes do they come in?
Well, as you know, pianos are come in different sizes. We've got upright pianos and we've got grand pianos. Those are the two major different types. Right. And right now we've got one model of each. But
how big is
hard to say where
is
it'll go in the future.
Is the grand, is it a baby grand? I mean, what are we looking at? What size? An L, C? What is it?
Yeah, it'd be sort of a smaller grand piano at this point.
It's like a baby grand.
And it wouldn't. Yes.
Okay.
That would be a good way to refer to it, sure.
Okay.
So the laptop of pianos, I hear you.
Well, you know, they make grands of all size. You know, they make the really huge ones, but again, you know, you don't, as you say, as the technology continues to develop, they might offer other models. But right now, there's one model, there's one grand model, and there's one upright that you offer at this point.
Well, Craig, and you bring up a very interesting point. Now think about this. Acoustic pianos are what we call mechanical amplifiers, and the bigger pianos tend to reproduce the low end much better. Most pianos do the top part very well because the scale of that piano is very similar. But the smaller the piano gets, it's almost like a speaker. Small speakers don't create bass, do they?
No.
Right? Bigger speakers create the bass. So here's what's, again, another shocking things with the transacoustic. On the upright, if you turn on both sounds at the same time, so you're playing the acoustic piano and then you turn on the digital recording of a 9-foot concert grand piano, or CFX, you're suddenly playing an upright piano, and yet turn up the digital sound, it's combining with a high-resolution, high-definition recording of a 9-foot grand. That's another thing that just absolutely shocks people, because now you can get the sound of a grand piano out of an upright.
Wow.
Combining the acoustic and the digital at the same time, you know, and You're absolutely right. We're all even at Yamaha just sort of saying, "Wow, there's so many implications for this," and we're just beginning to sort of enjoy the revelations as they come.
Yeah, really. I can't wait to see this. Now, how long has the Transacoustic been available? When does it come
We
out?
just had our trade shows in Anaheim, California, January, and we're now, as I'm traveling around with our Yamaha dealers, I'm seeing Transacoustics starting to show up in dealers as we speak.
Okay, so it's relative. You're saying it's relatively new. It hasn't been out for-
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so again, the Transacoustic piano available now. What does something like this cost? Give us an idea.
Boy, compared to the acoustic pianos, there's a slight increase in price, based upon the electronics. I don't know offhand right exactly because I deal with all products. I deal with digital pianos and hybrid pianos, and that would be sort of the marketing side. I guess I'm more on the technical and fun software side.
Okay. But it's, so I guess price information is when you go to the.
That's why they have piano stores, though. Like, I've never seen anyone walk out with a piano, but that's why they have piano stores, right?
Right. Exactly.
Exactly right.
And like anything else, I mean, they're all different levels of instrument quality. So I guess you just need to. When you go into the store, you'll find out for yourself. Listen, Craig, we're at the bottom of the hour. The time is really flying by. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back to you, okay?
Sounds great.
You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Yamaha is here talking about all of their digital instruments. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Hey, has anybody told you that you're beautiful? Oh, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the first alert, Bark Genie. If you have a dog in your workspace and uncontrolled barking is a repeated distraction, you understand why we got this in for review. The Bark Genie from First Alert is a mini Pavlov box that listens for barks and emits an ultrasonic beep when it hears one. With a 9-volt square battery for power, there's no outlet tether, and it's lightweight. It means it can go on a tabletop, a shelf, hang from a doorknob, or be wherever the barking tends to happen. A test mode responds with an audible beep. In its 3 operating modes, short, medium, and long range, the ultrasonic beep is something dogs can hear, but not you or me. Our test subject was a megalomaniacal male Jack Russell named Buddy, whose barking almost immediately calmed down, but was not deterred when responding to bark-appropriate stimuli like people at the door. Bottom line, the first alert Bark Genie could be worth a try if excess barking has been dogging your days. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. We have Craig Knudsen here from Yamaha, and we're talking all about their pianos and such. And turns out, I guess at this point it's Sir Elton John. At the 2013 NAMM show in Anaheim, Elton John performed on a Yamaha disc lavier piano. There we go, and simultaneously played played 400 of these pianos at locations throughout the world. How? Yeah, how? That's the right question.
Well, that is, I like to say, he was playing on a Yamaha disc clavier, and then there were 400 pianos throughout the world, so he played 401 pianos. Basically, when he pushed down the key on his piano on the Disney Hyperion stage, if you had a disc clavier in your house, that key went down on your piano. Likewise, if you push the pedal on the disc clavier on the Disney stage, if you have a disc clavier in your house, the pedal would go down. So is Elton John in your house playing your piano? Well, no, but are his fingers reaching through the internet and playing the piano in your house? And yes, you could argue that. So there's, we're really sort of redefining the definition of what a live performance is. And this is made possible with what we call a reproducing piano. So we're sort of shifting our discussion from transacoustic to what we call a reproducing piano, which is sort of the modern day player piano, where the keys and pedals play back performances of famous artists, either live or from the past.
Wow.
Did you let these people know this was going to happen, or did you just hijack 400 pianos and said, this is what's going on right now?
It was, at that point, it was even beta technology, and there are a lot more of those pianos out there at this point. But no, they are regular disc claviers. And this is a technology, I remember 20 years ago being at the trade show and us, thinking about this type of thing. I remember they had a pianist in Japan, and then they used the phone lines to send the data, and then they had a satellite, and we sort of watched the video, and we said, someday Elton John will be able to play a concert around the world, and that dream came true a year ago, last January. So it's something that we've been working on for decades.
Wow. And it actually have. So the people with the disc claviers, did they have to subscribe to the performance so they hear it? What are some of the technicalities as far as subscribing to this?
Yeah, well, you could think of it a lot like XM or Sirius Radio. For $199 a year, you subscribe to Disc Clavier TV and Disc Clavier Radio. So the radio has over 30 channels, including a Disney channel that the internet will play your piano. All right, so if you have guests over, it's like having a live performer pushing the keys and pedals in your living room. That's the radio part. For the Disc Clavier TV part, we either do live performances. For example, Sarah McLachlan did a live performance from her home in Vancouver, and she sang and played in a live performance, and some people actually watched it live, of course. And then we discovered, the technology is called remote live. Well, when Elton John played on the East Coast, it was 1:30 in the morning. So we also now have archived performances, and that's why we call that Disc Clavier TV. And so you get all that for $199, the archived performances, the live performances, plus the radio.
And that's good for a year, or is that how that works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yep.
Boy, I guess that really does bring it to the home. Now, when you have the archive version, I mean, can you call that up at any time? I want to hear that Elton John performance again. or does it only this
Do they make kind of like library available?
library available? How does that
Oh,
work?
absolutely. Right now we've got archived performances of amazing artists, like Sarah McLachlan and Tony DeSere and Carol Welsman, and there's bands, there's classical music, there's it's like Sirius and XM. You can select the style of music, and then it will play that style of music continuously, or watch a live performance if you'd like.
Wow, it has come a long way, hasn't it?
Well, it's sort of funny. In 1925, they sold more player pianos in the United States than they did regular acoustic pianos. So think about it. That's a type of technology that sort of became so popular it outsold acoustic pianos. And in fact, a little bit of history, George Gershwin learned how to play his first song by putting his fingers where the keys were moving on a friend's player piano. And and it's amazing to think that, one of our America's greatest composers, he played over, I think it's 150 player piano rolls in his lifetime. Even after he was very famous, he loved programming. I mean, you could really consider him a software programmer. He changed the way he played because it looked differently on the keys. He even did overdubbing in the early 1900s. When he played Rhapsody in Blue, and you look at those archived performances on player piano rolls, you can tell that the middle part is where he played the first pass, and then you can see 4 hands total playing on the bridge of Rhapsody in Blue. Just amazing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
this is a modern reincarnation of that. We call them reproducing pianos today, not player pianos, because player pianos in general didn't play with expression.
Yeah, well, then
Disc claviers today play with expression.
Well, they had something called Duo Art. I don't know if you're
yes.
Duo Art.
Yes.
We actually had a player piano. It was a Steinway player piano, believe it or not. And one of the things that had a little lever on it, and certain of the paper rolls on the left and right side would have additional holes. And we said, "What is that?" And that was the Duo Art. And you turn that on if your piano was capable of transcribing the Duo Art little holes. It was expression, the best way that they could do it. And then you would have soft passages and loud, and it was really quite amazing, in those days.
Right, and the only problem with that technology is everything played louder and everything played softer, whereas performers of today, of course, have the to reproduce the performance with full nuance. You need to be able to play loud and soft notes at the same time, and
sure.
And that's why we call them reproducing pianos now.
Yeah, well, listen, it was paper and air pressure, Yeah, you got to give them credit. I mean, it was part of the process. They did the best they could with the technologies that were available in those days.
Yep, and what marked the end of the player piano was the invention of the radio. Because prior to that, that's how music was distributed in the United States. How did people know the words to Ain't She Sweet? Because every salon, saloon, theater, and even homes were putting them there. And then when the radio, of course, came, then the old-fashioned player piano sort of declined in popularity until it was reintroduced in 1983 by Yamaha in the form of a disc clavier.
There you go. So there is.
Yep.
Now, for those who have been trained on acoustic pianos, is there any kind of a learning process when they go over to a disc clavier, or if you're trained on an acoustic, is there any kind of a transition period for an artist?
Well, in the case of a disc clavier, once again, a disc clavier, like the transacoustic, is an acoustic piano.
Okay.
So there is no learning curve in the sense of that. And now, learning curve in terms of you can record yourself on a disc clavier. In fact, piano teachers love the disc clavier because a lot of times when students are learning to play, they are concentrating on playing the right notes and they stop listening to their performances. What you do is you just hit the record button, and then you let the student play it all the way through, and then together the teacher and the student get to observe the student's performances. And I got to tell you, I'll see kids' eyes light up when they suddenly say, well, I've had some students say, that's not me. But it is them. It's reproducing their performance in full nuance. And so that's a great educational tool. And this is one reason why we now create pianos with technology. We call them technology-enhanced pianos. And a disc clavier is a great example of a technology-enhanced piano. And it's fun when customers come in, we'll say, would you like a piano with technology? And they sort of get their look on their face. Well, what do you mean? Well, would you like to play it with headphones? Or would you like to make an MP3 of your recording? Or would you like to be able to correct your mistakes in a recording? These are all the things that we can do with a technology-enhanced piano.
You can actually edit your recording, go back and do that. Now, is this also all this technology available with the transacoustic models too? Can you record yourself with the transacoustics too?
Yes.
Well, that's it. So, do you foresee the transacoustic replacing the technology that has speakers, or are they both going to kind of coexist side by side, and it's going to just continue to stay that way? I mean, I guess my point is, why would you want one that's playing through a speaker when you can have one playing through the actual piano itself?
This is where Yamaha really is a lot of fun to work with, because we're going to let the market decide, and if you really think about it, hybrid pianos were really demanded by the market. We had digital pianos, we had acoustic pianos, and a very good friend of mine is a very well-known musician, and years ago he came up to me, he said, I need a digital piano because I need to enter the music with a computer on the screen, to create the score, and I need to be able to use headphones, but I have to have a real piano action. I won't compromise on that. And I heard that for years. And that's where the hybrid came from, where you've got the digital piano sound with a real acoustic piano action. And that was based upon consumer demand. And we're basically responding to consumer demand for these types of things.
What does your friend think about the transacoustic?
He hasn't seen it yet.
You got to be there when he does.
Absolutely.
I watched the reaction on his face to hear that. I mean, that's got to be an eye opener, an ear opener, really.
Right.
Again, I'm as I said, I think this is amazing. Now, we talked a little bit about the resonance interaction of strings and acoustic pianos, part of the playing experience, and how Yamaha engineers have been able to simulate this in their digital pianos. Can you speak a little bit more to that?
Well, yes. Like I said, the string resonance, if you take that away, you really notice it. When it's there, sometimes you just sort of take it for granted. And so things like our Clavinova digital pianos have string resonance samples, whereas some of our lesser expensive digital pianos, we call them slab keyboards and things like that, the less expensive digital pianos don't have these string resonance samples necessarily. And so that's why we've got different priced units for different budgets, and sort of depends on what types of features that you want. We even have digital pianos now that make MP3s, and digital pianos that will take your performance and convert it to the score right in the screen. We've got digital pianos that you can connect to an iPad and do different things with them. So this whole concept of getting a piano that has technology enhanced is really, again, responding to what consumers want. They want these things to communicate with their smartphones and things like that. So
yeah, no, it certainly makes sense. I had another question for you, and it kind of just blew right out of my head. You said something, and then it caused me to to think of now. I can't remember. I'm just trying to what that was. I can't come to it. All right. Well,
you really did that.
No, I wanted to ask this. It was really relevant too. Okay. So you have different levels of different pianos based upon different budgets with different abilities. Obviously, the more that you spend, the more technology you're going to get. do you basically, as you say, it's market driven. These units are out to oh, I remember what it was. Okay, I remember the Yamaha talking about this a little while, because you've been on the show many times, and Yamaha's been on for a number of years with us. You were talking about working on a digital technology where you weren't sampling the musical instruments. You actually created the musical instruments from mathematical formula, and I think it was called V or something, I can't remember. And I wonder if anything ever came of that, or if you're incorporating that in any of the technologies, or you're still using digital sampling technologies. Do you know?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. We call it modeling instead of sampling.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Where you set up the characteristics within a computer programming, and I guess a good analogy would be sampling is like South Park, with little pictures that are put together in discrete fashion, and modeling is like Jurassic Park, where those those dinosaurs were computer generated and the like. So, and yes, we do use that in our Clavinova CLP 585. We actually model the string resonance samples you and I were talking about earlier, which means it's sort of an unlimited amount of gradations of the resonance samples, as opposed to samples that are recreating those types of things. So again, the top model CLP 585 actually models those string resonance samples.
Right, and that was the advantage, because then you have like an infinite amount of variation, because it's not a sample. You're actually creating the sound via this modeling. And
exactly, and these are the types of things, like I like to use the term, it gives the purists permission to like these electronics, because these are some of these real subtle details that really make a difference to the discerning listener and player.
And I assume over the time you've improved on the modeling technologies, or the formulas. You continue to improve on those?
Oh yeah, in fact, this CLP 585 just came out. We just introduced these, and an amazing thing to listen to those and I use the wrong word, sample, listen to those resonance models.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, the CLP 585. Now,
right.
Now, are you going to? What are you using in the transacoustic at this point? Are you using digital? I mean sampling? Are you using modeling? What's happening with that?
In the transacoustic, my guess is that's probably the traditional sampling that we have used in all of our high-end digital pianos. The CLP 585 is sort of a brand new leading edge type of thing, and this is what's sort of fun again about Yamaha, is they push the envelopes of these types of things. And what's sort of fun is years later we see those things that were leading edge in almost all of the products. For example, string resonance samples, 10 years ago, didn't really exist, and now you find it throughout the line. So this is one of the benefits of technology and how it sort of trickles down in the instruments.
It's like that with everything. You see that with computers, you see it with automobiles, you see the trickle down.
Right.
At first it's only available in the Mercedes and the BMWs, and and then all of a sudden now you're finding them in the Chevys and the the Toyotas, whatever. You see it. It always seems that the bleeding cutting edge technology first appears in the very expensive versions of whatever it is that you're looking at, and then over time it makes its way down to everything else that makes it affordable everywhere
else. Which stands to reason. So
what? Well, it does. Yeah.
Right, well,
yeah.
You mentioned it's sort of funny you mentioned cars as an example. Here's one of the issues that the engineers faced with a digital piano. Our Avant Grand, for example, has a real piano action in it, an acoustic piano action, and yet it's a digital piano sound, which means the strings aren't actually vibrating. Well, automobile manufacturers face the same problem. Cars became so separated from the road that if you were skidding in a car, you couldn't feel it in the steering wheel. So they spend hundreds of millions of dollars reconnecting that steering wheel with the feel of the road, so that if you're skidding, they somehow impart that feel into the steering wheel to make it feel like it's skidding. And we've done a similar thing in the Avant Grand N3, for example. It's called TRS, Tactile Response System. And even though there are no vibrating strings, there's two transducers under the key bed of the piano that are vibrating that keyboard as though the strings were vibrating, reconnecting a digital piano player with an acoustic piano feel. Amazing stuff.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, TRS. So.
It's amazing that so many. I mean, no matter you see it in the automobile industry, you see it in the computer industry, you see it in car. I mean, in the musical instruments, all these things follow a similar formula, and how they come about. And
well, and I just feel so fortunate to be involved with a company that's involved with music. I grew up in I was studying to be a doctor when I decided I wanted to be in the music products industry, and I've never regretted it since, and this type of technology just makes it even more sweet and more fun.
Yeah. Well, and there's no reason even for me to ask, what's new or what's coming up. I don't know, because I mean, you really do. You have all this cutting edge stuff that's just here, or virtually around the corner. But I'll ask it anyway.
Self-driving pianos. I hear you.
I mean, what's next? I mean, what else are you going to continue to work on at Yamaha with all these amazing things that are just coming out?
It's really hard to say. I think that's a tough question. Where does it all go? It's sort of. I think we're going to let the market decide. It is sort of funny how different things are different in different countries. For example, in Europe, silent pianos outsell the acoustic pianos because there's an assumption that the piano should have technology in it. Here, we tend to think the piano and then it's sort of an add-on. So it's sort of funny how cultural differences change. And my guess is we're going to see that more here in the United States, where we assume the definition of what a basic piano is, I think, is going to change. Think about what a basic phone is. It's a rotary dial phone. And 20 years ago, all right, or maybe longer, that's what a basic phone is. Now you couldn't even give away a rotary dial phone. And so we think that at this point, the definition of what a basic piano is changing, and so I think that's going to be interesting in the future to see how that all plays out.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, I really want to get my hands on that transacoustic and give it a try. I mean, I've watched the videos, and I need to actually give it a try myself, and I'd love to have you back on it, and after I've had some experience with this, and talk about it more, because it's just I'm actually envious of the salespeople who work selling these pianos, because they get a chance to literally get a hands-on with something like this.
Well, you should have seen the look on my nephew's face when he took the MP3 player in his pocket. He took the headphone out of the MP3 player into the auxiliary inputs of the transacoustic, and then heard the sound of his favorite music from his MP3 player. And I opened up the piano, and there's no speakers, so even he was surprised.
Yeah.
So it really is fun. It's just really fun and amazing.
And for those there are those people out there who want quality instruments. They want this, but they don't want all the wires and the speakers and everything that goes along with it. And it sounds to me like a transacoustic would really fill that bill, because you could literally open the piano up, the top of it, and put the little bar up there, so the top of the piano is at the angle, and it's open.
Well, for some reason, it looks like Craig may have dropped out. We're going to try to get him back in the Google Hangouts. I have no idea why that happened. But just a minute, we are talking to Craig from Yamaha, and we're just wrapping up great trans. And looks like Craig's joining us right
Tremendous time. I really
now.
did.
So,
Yeah. What, Ben? What did you say? Ben, you had something to say?
oh, no. Nope.
Okay, good enough. Well, Craig, thanks again for being with us here tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Craig. Take care.
Take care, Craig and Ben.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Right. All right, well, there you go. Now we're having some issues. No, okay. We're back here. Again, thanks to Yamaha for being here tonight with us and talking about these amazing pianos.
See, but that's the cool thing about Yamaha, though. We could have Yamaha on for, 2 or 3 weeks straight and have a person from every division. They do so many things that you really wouldn't realize, especially with music. They make, like, pretty much every musical instrument you can think of. They have a different division dedicated just to that and making new technology just for guitars, keyboards, pianos, what have you.
I think that the ability to, have Elton John playing in your home while he's simultaneously playing at a live concert, which you're watching on TV, and have your piano playing exactly when he presses the keys down on his piano, they go down on my piano in my living room. That's got to be an unbelievable experience. I've been to an Elton John concert. That's a lot of fun. But to have that happening in your home, that would be really something.
You went and saw Elton John?
Yeah, I saw Elton John years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a very interesting. And I went with some friends, and we saw him perform. All
You lucky
right,
duck.
you listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We've got computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America, coming up. We're going to break just for a short moment, and we'll be back with Hour 2 of the Computer America Show.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, a mind-blowing interview with Yamaha, Craig Knudsen, talking about that trans-acoustic piano. I have got to see that. I really, that's something I want to...
Many malls around America have piano stores. Go check it out.
Yeah, find a local Yamaha dealer in your area and just go and listen to this thing. It's just astounding. If it's anything like the video that I saw, it's just going to be absolutely. I could hear it in the video, let alone listening to it live. So again, of course, you can. If you missed any portion of the hour, you didn't see it. We'll have our archives up as soon as we finish this hour. The archives go up under the archives pull-down menu at ComputerAmerica.com. You can listen to any of our shows there. We have links to Apple's iTunes, which also archives our past shows. All that's available at Computer America, and of course, the videos are also archived, so you can listen and watch the Computer America Show. Any of the programs that we have, that's all up there for perpetuity. It'll just stay there forever, and so you can go back as long as we've been doing it. You can go back that far. So there it is. Jack wanted to know if it's called Robo Piano. No, no. It fights crime, and no, that's not the same thing. All right. So anyway, we're about to do some computer news. We've got some interesting stories. Oh, and I forgot it's Friday. That means we're gonna have a show
reminder winner of the week.
Oh, don't let me forget that. Oh, wow. We are. Yeah. In the bottom of the hour, we're gonna announce our show reminder winner of the week. And if you don't know what that is by now, basically go to ComputerAmerica.com, and right there on our homepage. just under the Interact menu, that's the first one, you'll see it says Enter Contest, and you'll see our show reminder contest. Actually, the button says subscribe because how you enter is subscribing to our email newsletter, the show reminder. It's free, okay? And is the only publication available that tells you who is going to be on the show for the entire week, who the guests are going to be. So it's very informative. You can see that. And when you subscribe to the show reminder, which is easy to do, you just when you click the subscribe button, it'll ask you for your email address where you want it delivered and your first and last name. When you subscribe, it'll send you a confirmation email to which you have to answer because it wants to make sure that you're a live human being, not a robot, trying to subscribe. And what you do, you get it every Monday morning at 9 a.m. You get the show reminder. And from that list of subscriber names, every Friday we draw a winning name to win a really nice prize. And in this case, it's the Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad. That's right, it's made of glass. It's rechargeable, it's wireless, and it's just a gorgeous touchpad. It's valued at $80 from Logitech, the T650. And we give one of those away every Friday. And since this is Friday, some lucky person this week is going to win one of those. And while you're there, check out our Logitech contest on one of our contests because that finishes next Friday, the 27th. Okay, only 28 days in this month, right? Yes, it's not a leap year month. So a year.
Did you say 20 or 28?
Friday 27th, February 27th.
Yes, and then there's only 28. Yes.
But Friday the 27th, midnight Eastern time, we close it down. And then over the weekend, we'll draw the 3 winning names, and then we'll announce the winners on Monday, March 2nd of 2015. So, again, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. It's completely free, no obligation. We do not, when you enter the contest, we don't give anybody your contact information. We don't sell it. We don't do any of that. We'll give a copy.
Although we do have like the whole terms and conditions though on our website, so you can find them there as well. Which I don't think we've ever mentioned. We do have terms and conditions, but they're basic English and you can read them. Yeah,
we gave the list one time to Ben in the back parking lot, see if he could sell it, but that didn't work out well. So we just no. So we don't sell the names at all. It's completely private, and we throw them all out and we start again each time we do it. But you have 1 week left to get your entry in, so just go to our contest, go to Logitech contest, and we make it really simple for you now. The terms and conditions are right there on the same page that Ben was talking about, the official rules. But the form is there to enter it. You don't have to do email anymore. Just put your name, your email address, the things that it asks for, and click the submit button, and that's it. You have your entry in. It's just that simple. And then, as I said, we could be calling your name as the winner this next week. So enter in all of our contests. As I said, you'll have a lot of fun doing it, and who knows, you might win something really, really nice. All right. So, and we're going to announce the show reminder winner of the week at the bottom of the hour. We'll announce that person's name. And let's see, anything else that we want to mention before we get to the computer news, Ben?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do some computer news then. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for
free.
For free. Absolutely. Completely free. Everything at the slimwareutilities.com website is completely free. And we recommend that you download them all. Even if you don't need them at the moment, just keep them in your toolbox ready to go in case something happens. As I said, there's no reason why you shouldn't. They're all free. Download them all. You'll be glad that you did, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com. And in our first story tonight, this is from Maximum PC. Sean Knight NVIDIA is going to be bringing back overclocking of GTX 900M series GPUs. Okay? After we were talking about, the risks that you run, well, guess what? NVIDIA is doing it. No more overclocking, no more clock blocking with the March update. In other words, NVIDIA were trying to block you the ability to overclock the card.
We want to be very clear about that term. Clock blocking with an L.
Yes, exactly. Clock blocking. Okay. Last week, NVIDIA released a driver update that removed the ability for consumers to overclock their GeForce GTX 900M series GPUs. Did you know they could do that, Ben? That they could block it? We never mentioned that in the DIY segment.
We did mention that you should look up your graphics card and look up the existing literature before you start overclocking and not just go Rambo. But it turned, I hadn't even heard that they had blocked it from, their end. I did not know that they could do that. Oh, whoa, huh. Looks like Craig has dropped out yet again. So strange, so strange. So if you're listening to the show here on the Google Hangouts, you're going to hear me kind of drone on while Craig will, I'm sure, be talking to himself over in, whatchamacallit, Blog Talk Radio. So I'm just going to continue the story here while Craig is attempting to reconnect. And no more clock blocking. So NVIDIA released a driver update that removed the ability for consumers to overclock their GeForce GTX 900M series GPUs. The reason for this, the company explained, was that GeForce notebooks were not designed to support overclocking, which at the end of the day should not really be the responsibility of NVIDIA, but rather the individual who is overclocking. So I'm not really sure why they'd block it just because it wasn't designed for it. Probably because, I don't know, some kind of heating issues. But since there has been a general outcry from PC enthusiasts who might wish to overclock or underclock their mobile GPUs,
consumers can revert back to driver version 344.75. Okay, so anyway, I know you dropped that for a minute, but yeah, I see you're back. And basically, I just read the article and completed it. And I asked you, Ben, I said, were you aware of the fact that companies could write code for their graphics cards to prevent people from overclocking?
Yeah, sounds like it. And by the way, I just want to get the story straight. I did not drop out. You have been the one dropping out. So just wanted to make that very clear.
Okay.
It's you, not me.
Well, see, for me, it looks I see you going away. So it could very well be, but at least we have our Blog Talk Radio connection. So
yes, the Blog Talk Radio stays with you. So when you drop out of Google Hangouts, people get to listen to me, and then the people over at Blog Talk Radio get to listen to you. So yeah, I was just covering it at the same time, but
good.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we're here. Not sure what's going on. Technology gods are giving us a little problem, but we're here. So anyway, that was the article. And did you have any comment about the article? That it said that because they're evidently
no, not really. If anything, I want to say is kudos for NVIDIA. They thought what they were doing was right. They were going to block people from overclocking just so that people weren't going to mess up their notebooks. And yet they listened to the outcry, they listened to their audience, and they let them and they let them have the ability back. So NVIDIA, good move. Always listen to your consumers. That will never steer you wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, as I said, for those who want to overclock their GPU but not willing to wait for the new driver, they can revert back to the earlier version, which was 344.75. So if you don't want to wait, but they just know that they're coming out with the new version will allow you to overclock it again.
Yep. And by the way, people in the chat room are indeed agreeing with me. So.
All right. As they should.
Well, no, agreeing with me as in you're the one dropping, not the other way around.
Okay, well, there it is. Okay, well, if they're listening to us in Google Hangouts, then that's probably what's
Then they'll
happening.
be listening to my dulcet tones while you get your act together.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I didn't have to do anything. The Google Hangouts actually
Google Hangouts will automatically reconnect you, but in the interim, they will be listening to me.
Right.
So this next story though is a little funny, involves Comcast, and yes, this one is from Maxim PC yet again. Though I found it in a couple different places, Maxim PC though they always have good writing, as provided by Paul Lilly. So I thought I'd go with this one. Better fact check whatever your Comcast agent tells you. It's getting increasingly difficult not to get mad every time Comcast makes news. This is one of only two companies that's been voted, quote, the worst company in America more than once by readers of Consumerists. By the way, EA was the other one.
Yeah.
Apparently, people don't like it when you mess with their video games or their internet. So, and it's because of the negative experiences that customers report, like a woman who received a bill addressed to super, not nice word, way to keep it classy, Comcast. These incidents aren't as rare as they should be, and if Comcast agents aren't insulting their customers, they're spreading misinformation. Like the Comcast representative who recently told a customer that data caps are mandated by law.
Oh gosh.
Which is not true in the least, thankfully.
Yeah.
This came to light when a Comcast customer posted to Reddit that he called in to cancel service after being charged $120 in overage fees. He recorded the conversation and posted a 1-minute clip of the exchange, and they actually have the clip available online. And they have a couple quotes here saying your outrageous data usage plan is yada yada yada. Okay, I understand, but every time internet service provider has a data cap, it is mandated by law. That is the actual quote the agent said, which is not true. So Ars Technica, another great site we visit, contacted Comcast about the incident, and lo and behold, the cable giant confirmed that its agent was misinformed and in need of training. They have a quote here from Comcast saying that the representative is wrong. There is no law requiring ISPs to have data caps, and Comcast discontinued having a cap in May 2012. We are currently conducting trials of a more flexible data usage plan in a small number of markets, and this representative's statements are not consistent with the training and messaging we provide. We will work to retrain this representative and will reach out to the customer to clarify this information.
Why am I getting visions of taking this guy and mind stripping him,
putting him back in one of those school desks and just
Right.
making him watch like a big swirly screen.
Right, exactly, and maybe a little waterboarding and something just to get him. How could you say that? And brainwash him into saying the right.
Our representative is being sent back for reprogramming. Do not worry. So it's been less than 5 months since Comcast vowed in a blog post to fix its customer service. Unfortunately, it looks like the company is aiming for a record third Golden Poo Award at the Consumerist instead. So I actually heard one of the reasons that Comcast has pretty awful customer support.
What is that?
And that is because they actually farm their tech support and customer support out to other companies, to private contractors and other companies. So when you have private contractors that are not part of your company, they have no vested interest in working with your customers, or you just pay them a certain amount of money. There's no real incentive for them to be courteous, nice, helpful, or anything like that, because heck, they're a third party. What do they care if they leave your company? You're still paying them the exact same amount of money. So because they farm their customer and tech support outside the company, you get a lower quality experience. Because really, what some of the best customer experience you can get is when it's handled in-house by the company that you have a transaction with, and then they can do everything in their power, from refunds to working on the technology to helping you with your product. That's the best customer service you can get, is when someone is there from the company helping you.
Mhm.
So AT&T or AT&T, I'm sorry, Comcast,
Mhm.
unfortunately, is suffering from farming out their customer service.
Mhm. There you go. Keep it in house.
Keep it in house, but yeah, no. First of all, misinformation never good. Second of all, they're even after 5 months of saying, "Hey, we're going to clean up our act," does not seem to be going well.
Yeah, even with the waterboarding and everything, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay. Um, so this next story, again from Maximum PC, Paul Lilly. Lenovo evidently stepped in it again. A lot of companies stepping in it these days. What's going on? Lenovo apologized for the Superfish scandal. What's the Superfish scandal? And they offer uninstall instructions. Well, what is Superfish? Well, evidently, first of all, Lenovo, again, admits...
We didn't cover this, but this was big news about 2 days ago.
Yeah, it messed up. They said Lenovo took to Twitter to issue an apology over Superfish. This is the visual search software it installed on consumer laptops and desktops without permission, and has posted instructions on how to remove it. Okay. Initially, Lenovo issued a statement saying that it installed the software with good intentions and that there's nothing to be concerned about from a security perspective, though evidence points to the contrary. All right. They're quoted as saying, "We're sorry, we messed up, we're owning it," which is unusual. You don't hear companies saying that. "And we're making sure it never happens again." Lenovo posted to Twitter, along with a link instructing users how to remove the program and its digital certificate. Okay, well, that's good. I think it's just nothing unusual. You just do the uninstall, software. You just go to the normal uninstall, and there is an uninstall program for it, and you can just uninstall it. But I guess they just wanted. They wanted.
But
to
like
just,
the problem here though wasn't that it's hard to remove or anything like that. It's just that computers, as you may know, come with things called bloatware, and this was one of the programs. Although it worked more like adware and potentially malware, and this.
That's what this did.
But I think people get this mental block where if it comes with the computer, it's meant to be on there. It has to be on there. If you see so-and-so search bar, so-and-so free program, so-and-so security, if it comes with your computer day one out of the box, people think, oh, okay, well, I need that for this computer to work. And honestly, few of those programs are actually mandatory for your computer. There's like your Windows Explorer and things like that, which you need. But as for the bloatware that they put on, they're programs put on your computer by Lenovo, by other computer manufacturers. It really doesn't matter which one you get it from nowadays. It's going to have some form of bloatware where the companies actually pay the computer manufacturer, put it on, and then they subsidize the cost of the computer to the end user. And then the end user eventually, potentially, as they hope, puts in their credit card information, signs up for a subscription, uses the product just because, hey, it's on there already, why not? And this is just one of those things, although it worked in a more insidious manner than your average bloatware.
Right. Now, the problem with Superfish is that it worked as adware by inserting ads into searches performed on Internet Explorer and Chrome, but evidently Firefox appeared to be unaffected by it. Furthermore, it left a gaping security hole on user systems that could allow for man-in-the-middle attacks. After news spread of the nefarious software, Lenovo tried to downplay the issue, saying that its relationship with the Superfish is not financially significant, and its only goal was to enhance the experience for users. In the same breath, Lenovo said it understood the concerns and had stopped preloading Superfish in January. One of the readers to this article sent an email to dispute Lenovo's claim, saying that their statement that says they stopped preloading Superfish in January is false. He said that his laptop, a Y40-80, was manufactured on February 9th of 2015 and included Superfish and its root certificate. It appears Lenovo got caught with its hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, and is now hoping that an apology and a bit of humility will win back the trust that helped it become the world's #1 supplier of PCs. Here's the quote: "We messed up badly here. said Lenovo's chief technology officer to Bloomberg in an interview. He says, "We made a mistake. Our guys missed it. We're not trying to hide from the issue. We're owning it." It's not enough to simply uninstall Superfish, though, by the way, as it leaves behind a root certificate that must also be removed manually. Aha! Okay, so you see, you just can't go to uninstall and do it. You also have to manually remove the certificate. Lenovo's instructions linked above, they actually have a link here in the story, detail how to perform both. So there is some additional things you have to do, not only just to delete the software. So that's it.
Well, when you delete the software from the uninstall, you delete the actual piece of software that is standing between you and the internet and providing you the adware. And then the other part is the security threat. Is that the certificate that others can use can latch onto, and can put bad things on your computer. So uninstalling it, you get rid of that particular piece of adware. Uninstalling deauthenticating the certificate, and bam, you're now secure. So.
Right. There you go.
Two halves to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
So I don't know.
Okay.
There was there was a whole story about hard drives and how they were actually being hard coded into having security holes in them, partially by the NSA and whatnot. And now this with Lenovo, it's crazy how quickly the computer manufacturers are like their mess ups are stacking up. Like one thing happens, and then there's 2 or 3 more things that immediately happen afterwards. So crazy.
All right. Good. Cool.
Cool? No, bad.
Well,
bad, Craig. Bad.
Cool that it came out and
cool that it came out? No, that's bad. Still bad.
Cool that there was a resolution to the problem. Okay. Okay. Are you doing the next story, or do I?
You want to do 2 in a row?
No, you can go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Greedy Gus over here. Jeez, it's Friday, and you think you can just run the whole show? Shame on you. Okay, this next story is very high tech. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to, go brush up on some of your more technological terms. This is from thisiscolossal.com, and honey on tap.
Okay.
Delicious. A new beehive that automatically extracts honey without disturbing bees. Awesome. So the Flow Hive is a new beehive invention that promises to eliminate the more laborious aspects of collecting honey from a beehive with a novel spigot system that taps into specially designed honeycomb frames. Invented over the last decade by father and son beekeepers Stuart and Cedar Anderson, the system eliminates the traditional process of honey extraction where frames are removed from beehives, opened with hot knives, and loaded into a machine that uses centrifuge forces to get the honey out. Here's how the Andersons explain their design. Quote, the flow frame consists of already partly formed honeycomb cells. The bees complete the comb with their wax, fill in the cells with honey, and cap the cells as usual. When you turn the tool a bit like a tap, the cells split vertically inside the comb, forming channels, allowing the honey to flow down to a sealed trough at the base of the frame and out the hive while the bees are practically undisturbed. Very cool.
On the comb surface, yeah.
So when the honey has finished draining, you turn the tap again, and in the upper slot resets the comb into the original position and allows the bees to chew the wax, capping away, and fill it with honey again. It's difficult to say how this might scale up for commercial operations, but for urban or backyard beekeeping, it seems to be a whole lot of fun. So they have a video. They have a couple pictures here. By the way, the pictures, honey looks delicious.
Yes, it does.
It's crazy. So, but yeah, if you have a backyard and you are partial to beekeeping, it seems like a very niche thing. But you'd be surprised how many people have a honey beehive or one of these boxes in their backyard, and it seems like a really neat way to collect honey without having to gas your bees, pull out the combs, destroy everything, and put it all back. Instead, it's essentially like maple syrup, except it's honey. It looks delicious. So I thought that was a neat little invention. It's not high tech, but still neat.
Yep, and we do that from time to time, sure, on the show.
What do you think?
I think that it's very novel. I mean, especially if you're squeamish around bees, you don't want to, get stung or something. This is a nice way to do it because then you don't really have to interact with the bees. You just turn the little spigot, and you get the honey. Then you turn it back, and they fill it up again. Without disturbing them. I think that anything you can do to make so it's less disturbing to nature. I think.
And by the way, honeybees, they are endangered thanks to pesticides. So the more places that are keeping the more people keeping bees and providing a home for bees, and yes, even harvesting their delicious, delicious honey is just good for the environment in general. So if you've never thought about beekeeping, this seems like a very low. This seems like a very low-tech yet easy-to-do solution to if you've never thought about keeping bees. Why not? They're not just the pest; they're your friends.
Would you keep bees in the backyard?
I would keep bees. I would definitely keep bees. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I have dogs, so I'd have to keep them away from where I keep my dogs. But
dogs and bees don't mix very well. You know that.
No, they do not. But bees serve an important part of the environment, and they have tasty honey. So two things that I like: air I breathe and honey. What can go wrong?
You're right. What could go wrong? Okay. All right. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are doing Computer Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. When we come back, Microsoft gives Dropbox users 100 gigabytes of OneDrive storage for 1 year for free. Wow. We also have Marty Winston doing our News Tips Bulletin Review, the last one for this week. And we also have our show reminder of the week coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MyTV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Cherry DW3000 wireless desktop. Cherry is a generations-old high-quality brand for switches and microswitches, and from time to time, like now, for end-user PC keyboards. Their new DW3000 wireless desktop set has a stubby USB dongle as its wireless link, a very nimble 3-button laser mouse, and a full-size keyboard with so sensuous a feel that your fingertips may feel betrayed if you ever leave it. Alkaline cells in the keyboard and the mouse provide power. The mouse has an on-off switch to husband runtime. The keyboard has no such switch, which leads our inner engineer to believe that beneath the keycaps, discrete actual switches demand power from a spec underneath, we assume 3 milliamps, only as they're struck rather than constantly scanning as in many other wireless keyboards. This is a luxury keyboard line, both in terms of pricing and in terms of performance and ride. Bottom line, the Cherry DW3000 wireless desktop keyboard, switch, and dongle combo will make your fingers strut. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America. What?
What were you doing? I was watching you. You were like either keeping rhythm to the music with your mouth or something.
Oh no, I was
Oh. Okay.
I was making popping sounds. I didn't know you were so interested. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. In this the last half hour on our Friday, February 20th, and since it is Friday, last half hour, show reminder winner of the week. We do those. We give them away a very nice, lovely prize. And Greg, I think it's about time. So if you have a name picked out, you can hit the drums.
Okay, we can do that. This week's show reminder winner is Michael Sweeney. Michael Sweeney, you're our show reminder winner of the week. You win the Logitech wireless, rechargeable, touchpad, glass T650, okay? Valued at $80. Congratulations to you, Michael. You're our winner this week. And good luck to all of you next week because we start the contest again on the show reminder every Friday. Michael Sweeney, you're our winner this week. Congratulations. So Ben and I are continuing to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And this one I kind of teased it. Microsoft gives Dropbox users 100 gigabytes of OneDrive storage for 1 year. Isn't that more free storage? It's all for free. Again, this is from Paul Lilly. Like an overzealous patron at a gentleman's club who just inherited a fortune, Microsoft can't help but to make it rain. Okay, free storage, that is. It was only a week ago that Microsoft offered up 100 gigabytes of free OneDrive cloud storage for a year for signing up for Bing rewards, and now Microsoft is taking aim at Dropbox users with a similar deal, 100 gigabytes of free OneDrive cloud storage for a year, simply for verifying their account. Unlike previous offers, however, this latest giveaway isn't limited to Dropbox users living in the U.S. This one's good for all Dropbox users, regardless of where they call home. To qualify, Dropbox users will have to register with OneDrive and save a Get Started PDF file to their Dropbox account. Okay. Once that's done, the 100 gigabytes of free OneDrive space will appear like magic. Boop. Or these offers aren't of any real benefit to paid Office 365 subscribers who receive unlimited storage as part of their subscription. Wow. Yeah. At the same time, it doesn't hurt to take advantage of these offers anyway, which can serve as insurance in the event that they stop subscribing. Aha. He said, Paul Lilly said he applied to both the Bing Rewards and Dropbox offers to his account, and it currently shows 10.2 terabytes. Even though I have unlimited storage throughout my Office 365 subscription, the storage space is doled out in 10 terabyte increments on an as-needed basis. Would you ever use 10 terabytes of storage? I don't know. With this latest promotion, it would seem that Microsoft is trying to poach Dropbox users over to OneDrive, though that isn't necessarily the case. The two companies recently teamed up to improve integration between Office and Dropbox. So that's it. So basically, he gives a link to you want to claim your 100 gigabytes from OneDrive storage, and he gives a link to that, and that's it. So I don't think they're competing necessarily, but it looks good. Okay. Hey, anything for free, I'm
Yep.
for it.
People like free stuff.
Yep.
So, next story. This one is hilarious in that hopefully no one falls for it. This one, though, involves Sony.
Okay.
And from BGR.com, Sony just unveiled the stupidest product in the history of the universe.
Wow, that's really saying something.
It's pretty impressive, and this is even after someone, yes, indeed, marketed the Pet Rock. So, this one from BGR, the particular person who wrote it, Brad Reed, we're starting to think there's something seriously wrong with Sony these days. In addition to its ridiculous-looking Google Glass rival, Sony this week unveiled what might be the single stupidest tech product in history. A $155 memory card that promises to deliver premium sound.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but wait, justifiably flabbergasted readers may be saying, what does a memory card have to do with delivering premium sound?
Okay.
Good question. So, as the Wall Street Journal informs us, Sony is claiming that the new SR64 HXA memory card produces less electrical noise when reading data. In other words, the card delivers premium sound by being less noisy than other memory cards. And Sony thinks this is worth $155. Don't you hate it when you plug in a memory card in your camera and all of a sudden it just starts making so much noise?
Well, first of all, it's all digital anyway. Noise doesn't really affect the quality of the sound. That's very bizarre. Okay.
Yeah, welcome to Sony. So to get a perspective on just how absurd the price is, there's an article on The Verge for a full breakdown. And by the way, it costs about $155. There's another one that sells the same card sells in Japan for $90. And if you are willing to go with Samsung, there we go. The price falls to just $50 for the same capacity. And by the way, you can find Samsung same capacity here in the U.S. for just $30 instead of $155. And of course, only Sony's new card is emblazoned with the gold-lettered quote for premium soundline end quote tagline. At this point, they think that Sony would have better luck trying to trick dim-witted farmers into giving away their cows for magic beans.
You know, I think you just coined a new word. Okay, and I like it. For all those consumers who have bought Samsung products or a Samsung product and they didn't like it, and you can say they have been Samsung.
See, but I like Samsung. They have some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I know. But if you buy a Samsung,
not like generally every manufacturer has their down moments, but Samsung, they're pretty good about being on the up and up.
Yeah. Still, if you buy something and you didn't like it, and you got Samsung. I think that was kind of cute.
Oh, yes, and one of our timer participants asked if they get a discount for using one of those monster cables. The HDMI cables that were like $12,000 or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
From Monster, by the way, in case you were wondering, I'm looking everywhere for these $12,000 HDMI cables. All I can find are these reasonably priced $20 to $30 HDMI cables. Look under Monster. They're the ones selling them. Those are the ones you want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this next story here, this was actually we spoke about this with Pop Zara, Josh Boykin. He was talking about the game, The Order 1886. Well, Engadget is calling this game is the latest in a long line of beautiful, boring games. Okay. He says the Order 1886 isn't anything new, but man, is it pretty. Every review I've read mentions just how absurdly cool-looking the PlayStation 4 exclusive is. The praise is buried under heaps of valid criticisms regarding monotonous gameplay and hackneyed storytelling. Based on what the author has played, he's inclined to agree. Regardless of the pretty visuals, he's yet to be tasked with doing anything particularly interesting. The cover-based shooting is adequate, but he just can't shake the feeling that he's done it all before in better games. What's more, the narrative is incredibly dull. Non-interactive screens plod on for too long, helmed by characters he has zero connection with, spouting a rote dialogue that's difficult to decipher more often than not, and not very good. But boy, is it pretty! And the Order 1886 isn't alone in the pretty and boring category. Pretty and boring. It reminds me of some dating experiences that I've had. Remember Xbox?
Ow.
I know, Xbox One launched The Rise, Son of Rome. How about Killzone 2 and Lair on PlayStation 3, or last fall's PS4 racer Drive Club? All these games were hailed for their visual prowess in the months leading up to the launch because it's easy to portray how pretty a game is with a high-res image. That only tells half the story, though, because even reviews of disparate releases start sharing common narrative threads over time. Let's play a game. Try to guess to which game each quote below belongs. Okay, and they give a few quotes here. Like a little bit of hook or a gimmick would have been nice, even if it was something as simple as building a remotely compelling narrative. Half the time I wasn't even positive where I was or what I was doing here. And then they identify that was from Killzone 2. There was another bad one on Drive Club, and the third one was Rise, Son of Rome. So the other commonality in these games, they're all titles published by console manufacturers looking to show off just how powerful their hardware is, but it comes at a price. They're the video game equivalents of James Cameron's Avatar, something you pull out when friends and family are over to show just what your new toy is capable of, but turning off as soon as everyone leaves because they're all style without substance. I disagree with that. I loved Avatar. I'm sorry. I thought it was great. So there it is. Anyway, it goes on to point out the fact that he thinks that it's visually pretty, but it's just pretty but boring. And the Order 1886, and Josh Boykin, I think, kind of agreed with that. He said, "Boy, it's pretty, but there's no substance in the game." And he thought, "Yeah, okay, well, that's it."
All right. Yeah. Nothing really to add to that. But I am excited about this next article here from CNET. And just when you think you know all of the contenders, apparently, I think at the end of the day, pretty much every single car manufacturer out there, at the end of the day, because they know that autonomous cars are the way of the future, they're going to have they're going to have a horse in the race. They're going to put out one of these self-driving autonomous cars.
Uh-huh.
And Volvo just announced their plan to get in on the action.
Okay.
So Volvo details autonomous drive Me cars on sale in 2017. Google, who was the first one to really have the autonomous car idea, says that they won't have one out until 2019. So this is beating them by about 2 years. The automaker will have 100 self-driving cars on the road by the end of 2017. Not exactly, for the masses with only 100, but hey, it's a start. Today we've got a little bit more information on the systems that will make those cars work.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the car has been perfected. It's really the systems that go into it are what's revolutionary. So Volvo is inching closer to having 100 self-driving cars on the road by 2017. And today, it's giving us a bit more information on exactly what will make these cars go. Or more specifically, what keeps them going safely even when the drivers are reading the paper or, more likely, checking in on Facebook. Volvo calls the program Drive Me, and it will begin with a fleet of 100 cars available only to residents here in the automaker's hometown. The cars rely on arrays of sensors to provide autonomy on Gothenburg's highways, though drivers will need to pilot their cars onto and off those highways. Also take over in the case of inclement weather. Oh, that's how they got around that. So the cars rely on a series of systems, many of which have already been available in production Volvos today. However, far more advanced computers within the car aggregate all the data to keep everything on track. Those systems are indeed and indeed most of the components in the car are fully redundant, so even in the case of a system failure, the car will still drive itself. Volvo says it took inspiration from the aircraft industry in adding fallbacks wherever possible. People always say, well, what happens if it fails? There is a failsafe.
Yeah.
I guess when they're talking about themselves and their car and their self-driving car, they kind of question every little thing. Will it work? How will it work? Will it be safe? How will I know it will be safe? Yet whenever they fly on an airplane, they just kind of say, the pilot's got it. But yet the pilot is really not even that involved in flying an airplane anymore. It's computer after computer after computer.
That's true. That's true.
So
Volvo has the reputation of being one of the world's safest cars. So
they do. They are very safe. If you ever valued safety, Volvo is again one of the best ones you can go with. So, but of course, in the case of bad weather or unforeseen circumstances, the town of Gothenburg can disable the autonomous functionality of these cars. Hopefully not while you're trusting it to drive itself, at which point driving duties will fall back to their human occupants. Should the driver not be able to take over the wheel in a timely manner, the car will automatically pull to the side of the road and stop somewhere safe. Neat.
Okay.
So again, Volvo plans to have 100 of these autonomous cars on the road around Gothenburg in 2017. That's a limited program, but when the author visited Sweden last year for an early test ride, Volvo personnel weren't shy in saying that they were already in discussion with other municipalities worldwide. And I bet you many of those were here in America as well. Certainly, autonomy on the highway is less exciting than punching in a destination and waking up when you get there, but when it comes to something as important as driving safely, taking your time seems like a smart way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because really, that's the dream, isn't it? Say, okay, take me to somewhere so and so 3 states away, and you go to bed and you wake up 6 hours later and you're there. Like, that's the dream.
That is the dream. Maybe one day we'll see it. But maybe.
Are you kidding me? Self-driving cars by 2019. They're still on track to do that.
Yeah.
I bet you 2019 it's going to be like the first systems that are fully autonomous, and then somewhere along the lines of 2025, most cars on the road are going to be autonomous.
Okay. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm tired of driving. It's a chore.
Yeah. I really want to do this one here. This is from Tech Hive. Skipper, SKIPR, promises to whisk you away from TV commercials. This is a startup called Skipper. Wants to cover up all the commercials you see on TV, replacing them with things you actually want to watch. This is the product is still in development, but one of the developers has posted some details on Reddit. Skipper will monitor any cable or satellite TV signal and auto-detect advertisements. When the commercial break starts, Skipper will switch to content of your choosing, such as social media updates, the weather, a screensaver, or music. You could also have it switch to a different game during sports broadcasts. In other words, it's kind of like changing the channel when a commercial break starts, but with the content specifically made to fill in those few minutes. Skipper is supposed to then automatically switch back to your original show when the commercial break ends. This will require a satellite or cable TV feed coming over HDMI, but there currently aren't any Android TV devices that support HDMI in. Skipper plans to build one itself. This is a Kickstarter campaign. Is this a good or a bad thing? Let me just say, he says, why this matters is it's worth noting that Skipper hasn't actually shown its technology in action. A video that is a representative uploaded for curious Reddit users was promptly removed, so we can't say whether Skipper will work or as advertised. Still, as smart TV makers keep trying to inject more and more ads into the viewing experience, it's laudable to see a company take the opposite approach. There have been efforts like this done in the past. I had a DVR that had automatic skipping of advertisements, but then there was an outcry from the advertisers, and then they came up with technologies that would defeat the advertising skipping.
I think TiVo pioneered one, and then Dish Hopper was another technology, and now this. It's very rare that technology like this actually stays stays current and stays up to date, because as you were just saying, advertisers hate this kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're going to try to do everything they can to find a way around it. And yeah, I actually had it even before TiVo and Hopper. They had Replay TV, which was one of the first DVR companies in the world. Actually started the DVR revolution. They're long since gone, but they had an advertising skipper, and it worked with, when they go to a commercial break, there's a quick fade, and it would detect the quick fade and figure you're in a commercial. But it was hit and miss at best. It wouldn't always work. And again, advertisers hated it, and they came up with ways that, well, we won't give you the fade. We're just going to sharply go to the commercial. So it just basically wouldn't work. I can assure you that there are going to be technologies to compete with this, and lawsuits, and who knows what. I'll be surprised if Skipper even makes it. It'd be nice if it would, but I don't think they're going to make it.
Like, I've always sat down with other people who watch television. When I watch television, I have, especially with time shifted stuff, I'll skip past the commercials. I know exactly how long it takes. Like, if you're on so-and-so network, it'll take you 1, 2, 3, 4, fast forwards, and then like one quick one, and you're done. Like, you can pretty much tell how far or how fast you need to go to skip over those ads, but yet they're so insistent that there isn't a one-button solution that people, I really think people just, like, they know how to skip the ads, but the advertisers are just, like, putting their hands over their ears and saying, no, they're watching our ads. They're watching our ads.
Do you know that this technology?
You people are doing it.
Do you know this technology that's available now? If you use your the same DVR to record, let's say video on demand.
On demand.
Yeah, they can defeat that. You try to skip forward it won't work. It says, sorry, we can't fast forward. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But the current DVR you have right now that you're doing that with, they have the technology to prevent you from skipping over commercials.
Very cool. Very cool that I, too, have the technology to pick up my phone and order another cable service because they're being complete tightwads about their advertising dollars.
Well, anyway, I came across that a number of times where I would miss a show, so I would use it on demand, and when I recorded on demand, there were still commercials, and I could not fast forward. I could not skip it. It was a little message would come and say, "Sorry, you can't do that. You can't fast forward over it. You have to watch it." So, it's never ending. It's never ending. Okay, what do we got? We got time for maybe one more story here.
Yep, one more story. How about this one?
The tech hive, but Wi-Fi more maker friendly.
No, that's boring. Something interesting, something fun, something to cap off our Friday night. Neil Blomkamp's Alien movie gets the green light as seen on Instagram. So the District 9 director next creature feature could see Sigourney Weaver's Ripley back where she belongs, kicking Xenomorph's tail. So
look at her picture. She looks younger. She looks like she was originally. Did they do something special to make her look younger?
Those are artist renderings.
Yeah. Because she's not going to look like that.
Like, those are drawn. So.
Okay.
All right. It's all concept art shown. So in space, it seems everyone can hear you. Instagram. After posting concept art for his dream Alien movie on Instagram, Neil Blomkamp has officially got the gig as 20th Century Fox gives the film the green light. According to Variety and Blomkamp himself, the Alien sequel will be his next film. It will be developed alongside prequel Prometheus 2, and both will be produced by the series progenitor, thank you, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the first Prometheus, so I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel.
Yep. So they said that the director of sci-fi films such as District 9, Elysium, and the forthcoming Chappie revealed his alien ambition by posting concept art earlier this year. He described it as a mental stroll into the world Ridley Scott created, and admitted it was unlikely to get made, but now it seems we'll be joining him on that stroll. So, he titled, he has the concept Alien Xeno. The artwork portrays characters from the earlier films, including Ellen Ripley, played in all 4 Alien movies by Sigourney Weaver, and Space Marine Dwayne Hicks. played by Michael Bine. Bine?
Yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Bay.
In Aliens, the poorly received David Fincher sequel Alien 3 killed off both characters, so where that would place this movie in the continuity of the films remains to be seen. Yada yada. With Blomkamp's film in the slate, that means there are currently 2 Alien movies in the works. The film's original director, Ridley Scott, returned to the series with the prequel Prometheus in 2013, and he is currently working on Prometheus 2 for release in 2016.
I'm glad to hear that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see Prometheus too. I thought Prometheus was great because that was the progenitor of all the Aliens movies. You know, that really started it off, and so it'll be interesting to see that again. I am looking forward to that. I'm glad to see that they're going to work more on those. Hey, you know, we're pretty much out of time. Again, we got the weekend is upon us, and hopefully you have some plans for this weekend, some fun things to do. Again, congratulations to Michael Sweeney, our show reminder winner of the week. He got the Logitech T650 glass touchpad. Congratulations to him. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our weekly email newsletter, the show reminder.
90 seconds.
Thanks again to Yamaha for being here with us on the show and telling us about those amazing pianos. The trans audio.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Monday we're going to have malware bites in the first hour. Okay, talking about antivirus software, malware software, and then in hour 2 we're going to have Parallels on the show.
60 seconds.
That's that amazing software that allows you to run Windows on your Macintosh, or amazing product. They're going to be with us in the second hour as well. Malware bites in the first hour, and Parallels in the second hour. Have a great weekend. Ben, you got big plans?
Tonight? Or this weekend? Heck no.
Yeah?
Heck
It's
no.
the trans-acoustic piano, by the way. Sorry
Trans-acoustic
about that.
piano.
Yes, it's trans-acoustic piano. Okay. No big plans? Oh, come on. We got to do something.
Nope.
We'll do something. We'll go to the Chinese restaurant on the Ponderosa School.
No.
Anyway, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday night. So until Monday night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you Monday night.
10 seconds.
Computer America.
Yeah.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching us on our live Computer America video streaming page. Have a great weekend, and as I said, Ben and I will see you on Monday night. Have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.